So let's start. We're going to start in butterfly pose. So in some ways, you feel like butterfly should just be like all open and stuff. But surprisingly, it's not. You have your knees wide, your feet touching, let's see if I can do this better. There we go. Your heels about 2 hands length away from your groin. First things first, grab onto your shins. Take a full inhale, maybe an exhale with a noise. Oh. And then start to roll down, bringing your forehead towards your feet, letting your arms just relax wherever is comfortable for you. And in this first pose, we're going to do it yin style. So you want to see that you can relax as many muscles as possible. And once you are in the position and you've relaxed your muscles, then you just fortify your inner place so that you can stay there and hang out there and see what's up. So take a couple more full fat breaths. It's so wonderful that breathing can happen when we don't have to think about it, like when we're sleeping and doing other important things. But it's such a gift that we can, on purpose, slow our breath down, take little deeper breaths, take fatter breaths. And we can feel how immediately it starts to relax our whole body. Give us a sense that we can hang out for a moment here in this moment. So feel that your jaw is loose, your tongue is relaxed and fat. Maybe your belly's hanging out just a little bit. Your elbows are extra heavy. And we're going to start today with one of my favorite meditations or even practices, I would say. With so many planets in the sky going retrograde and just a dynamic, full life for all of us, no matter where we are. I'm finding my nervous system is on I don't know, hyperdrive. So along with these deep reminders of breathing, of being right here, right now in this moment, I also find reciting Buddha's 5 remembrances is such a constructive and practical way to also help dissipate unneeded fears and kind of paranoias, or it's nearly like nervous thinking. And before I read them again, let's inhale up, keeping our feet as they are, and just come back into fish pose. So you come back onto your elbows, let your head hang back. If it's really lame, if it irritates your neck, you can always keep your chin towards your chest. And halfway through the pose, we will go all the way down to the floor. So if you need to do that before I tell you to, feel free. Take a full breath in. And with your exhale, sigh it out. I am of the nature to grow old. There is no way to escape growing old. I am of the nature to have ill health. There's no way to escape ill health. I am of the nature to die. There's no way to escape death. All that is dear to me and everyone I love are the nature of change. There's no way to escape being separated from them. My actions are my only true belongings. I cannot escape the consequence of my actions. My actions are the ground upon which I stand. The way that Buddha's five remembrances are, Buddha's five remembrances. So you'll see them through different lineages of Buddhism. But the way I just said them right now is how Thich Nhat Hanh says them. Now allow your arms to slide out to the side and come down softly onto your back. And we're going to take a mudra. So you're going to bring your thumbs and your index fingers together and then radiate out your other three fingers. And you're going to place your thumbs right where the ground and your head meet. So it's a little bit like the corona, yes, the crown of being here on earth. So our consciousness can be everywhere. It is everywhere. The only places we can get to are where our consciousness can reach. So maybe you follow NASA's I don't know, Instagram account, or you look at their website, but they've been coming in with some really amazing photos as they develop better and better lenses. And so the most recent photo that struck me was seeing the rings of Neptune and how incredible it is that we have the tools that we can see so far out into the universe. But you notice as I talk and I say Neptune and out into the universe, like you already build up a picture of outer space, perhaps. You imagine dark skies with stars everywhere. This mudra that you have right now symbolizes the micro meeting the macro. So, what's in me meeting the world, you could think of it. And then these three other fingers symbolize the tamas. And these are these kind of primordial energetics. And they're the rajas, the tamas, and the sattvas, which is the kind of, you can loosely kind of imagine it a little bit like extra. The rajas are excarnating and like extrapolating out, and we in anthroposophy would connect it to luciferic, and the tamas are like pulling down, getting harder, getting more solid, more earthbound. And then the satyas are this kind of this midpoint, but this column of truth, this kind of connection to God or the divine in us, or the feeling of bliss. And I used to just make this really strong comparison between like Ahriman and Lucifer, the different kind of forces of, in some ways, evil in the world, and that middle path is good. And that's still true. But I'm learning a little bit more. Just like we need these elements that take us out of ourselves, and we need these elements that incarnate us, we also need this element of this I am, and this uprightness, and this ability to have self-reflection. And all three of them actually have kind of like an evil counterpart. And there's this phenomena that when we just put evil as the opposite of good, there's no nuance there. But when we start to understand this balance, this dynamic balance happens between not just one and two or two, but actually in three, it becomes a much more dynamic situation. And over the next couple of weeks, I imagine I'm going to tell you way more about it. So stay tuned. But for now, you're going to actually hug your knees in. And first, just rock side to side, especially if you don't have a recording device on the side of your hip. Mm-hmm. And then start to rock back and forth. And we're going to rock up to a seated position. And we're going to sound 3 ohms. And since I've touched on the subject of good and evil a little bit. One of the reasons why we do ohms is actually to purify the space around us, to really say like, oh, let all my sweat and my work be for the good of humanity and let no other spirits disturb me during my practice. There's so many layers to Om, but let's think about that one as we bring our hands together. Feel that you're rooting down to the ground. Notice that once you root down, you can lift up tall in your spine, close your eyes, and just for a moment, maybe think of someone who needs some love, some attention, some healing, and dedicate your class to them. You'll notice that just like in an act of prayer, you lose nothing. And then empty your breath. And let's take a deep inhale together. And then relax your hands down. And we're going to lift up our arms. And with our exhale, we're going to turn to the right and bring our arms down and come into the twist a little bit. Inhale back to center. And with your exhale, turn to the left. Let your chin drop. Inhale up to center. And with your exhale, turn to the right. Inhale up to center. With your exhale, turn to the left. One more time. Inhale up to center. And with your exhale, you're going to turn to your right and maybe soften here. And we're going to take a couple breaths, twisting our spine. Feeling that when we inhale, we get taller. When we exhale, we start to pull in our abdominals. And then inhale back up to center. And you got it. Next exhale, come to your left. See if you can soften a little bit into it, like by dropping your elbows, but we're starting our yang practice. So let your inhale lift you tall. With your exhale, pull your abdominals in. And then inhale up to center. And with your exhale, bring your hands down and come onto your knees for some cat cows. It's like a new creature, the cat cow. All right. Meow, meow. Inhale, lift up your head, your heart, and your hips. Exhale, push the ground away. Pull your belly up. Stretch your spine. Inhale, lift your head, your heart, and your hips. And then exhale. Again, pull your chin in, pull your belly up. Maybe even already float your knees for floating cat. One more time. Inhale into cow. Feel your shoulders come towards your hips, your belly dropping down, your shoulders reaching back. Exhale, come this time into floating cat. So you're just going to push down with the tops of your feet, pull your belly up, arch your back, and then roll into downward facing dog. Bend and straighten one leg at a time. Wiggle around. Just feel what your dog feels like today. Feel that you're reaching through your fingertips, maybe even lifting up your toe tips and stretching them out. Engaging your thigh muscles. Even with a small bend in your knees, you can lift up your thigh muscles and push your hips up and back. Take another full inhale. And then exhale through your mouth. Then inhale, stretch your right leg up to the sky. And with your exhale, bend your knee and let your hips spin open. You can stay here static, or if you want to play a little bit, you can start to bring your left fingertips onto the mat instead of your hand. You can reach maybe even back. You can walk your hand back slowly, reach up, see if you can slap your foot, or even hold it. And then with your exhale, you're going to step your right foot all the way forward to your right hand. Let your left knee come down to the ground. Stretch your toes out on your left foot. And then toe heel your right foot out to the right and drop into it. And we're going to make some circles with our hips. I don't even know what this would be called. Confused octopus. Or loosey-goosey jointed horse. I don't know. And then you're going to plant your hands, tuck your left toes under, and stretch your right leg back up to the sky, and then relax your right leg down to the ground. Inhale, stretch your left leg long. And with your exhale, bend your knee and let your hips spin open, keeping your foot active. You can either stay here or you can play by shifting the weight more into your left hand, come up onto your right fingertips. Maybe you reach back. Maybe you can hold on to your foot. Maybe you just touch it, or maybe you just think about your foot. And then with your next exhale, step your left foot all the way forward. Just move it out a little bit so it's like the wide version. And bring your right knee down, stretch your foot out. And allow yourself to be like a modern dancer interpreting this posture right here. How can you move it? What feels good? What feels weird? What do you avoid? What do you like? And then toe heel your foot back. Tuck your right toes under. And this time, step your right foot forward. Separate your feet hip distance apart, which is about 2 fists in between your big toes. Bring your hands to your shins with your knees bent. Push your shins back as you reach your chest forward. And with your exhale, release and bow forward into forward fold. You can hook your hands into your elbows. You can sway a little bit. You can take off your clothes. You got it. Multi-talented. Allow your head to drop. Your back to release. Feel this soft stretch in your hamstrings. And then release your hands and slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. Stretch your arms up. And with your exhale, Samastitihi. Inhale, reach your arms up. With your exhale, bow forward, coming into sun salutation A. Inhale, halfway lift. This time, just step back into plank and lower all the way down to the ground. Inhale, low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Wiggle it or have it nice and still.
What suits your practice today? We want to notice, especially in the cyclic life of women, but also in men, we have different needs at different times when we come to our yoga mat. Like we got the basics out of the way, right? With that meditation. We're going to be sick. We're going to be die. We're going to be die. We're going to die. We're going to get old. And these things are part of the story of being human. And not feeling the same every day is also a story of being human. So empty your breath and then walk or float your feet in between your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release and bow down. Root down, inhale, lifts you up. Exhale, samastitihi. Inhale, stretch your arms up over your head. With your exhale, bow down. Inhale, halfway lift, feel your belly engage. Now, this time, step back to plank and lower only halfway down, chaturanga, elbows and shoulders the same height. Then inhale, lift up, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now, if that was too much for your back, hopefully you're already listened to that and just did, instead of chaturanga, you went to the floor. Instead of upward facing dog, you did low cobra. Too often we kind of skip forward and miss these times that we hang out in downward facing dog. So notice how you can stay present, making slight micro adjustments rather than just daydreaming. Take another full inhale. Empty your breath all the way, and this time jump your feet in between your hands. Inhale, halfway lift, fingers still dragging on the floor or pushing against your shins. Exhale, release and bow down. Root down and inhale, roll up. Exhale, samastitihi. Inhale, stretch up tall. One more time. Exhale, bow forward. Make it work for you. Halfway lift. Your exhale, you find chaturanga or the ground. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take another fueling inhale. Empty your breath all the way and then walk or float your feet in between your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Nicely done. Exhale, release and bow down. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, samastitihi. Inhale, Utkatasana. And today I'm doing it with my feet slightly apart, like a skinny hip distance. And we want to start to understand, a lot of this practice was developed for the male body. So maybe we need to make some adjustments if we're in a female body. Maybe we don't. But this is where you want to be curious. Don't just take it at face value. Oh, you're thinking you want to come out of the pose. Why don't I just drop your hips down instead? Oh, yeah. Get your thighs to have flames shooting out of them. Take another full inhale. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, halfway lift. Walk or float. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your right foot all the way forward to your right thumb. Spin your left heel down. Inhale, warrior one. Let's take some breaths. So we're doing classic warrior one. You can take your hands to your hips, square your hips forward. And you have this action in your body where your back heel is pushing down as your front knee is pushing forward and your front foot is energetically pushing forward. And then you engage your root lock, your Uddiyana Bandha, and you have your arms nice and long with your shoulders relaxed. And eventually you bring your hands towards one another and start to look up. Come a little deeper with your legs as your heart lifts a little bit more. Take another full inhale and then exhale, vinyasa. Meeting up in downward facing dog. Step your left foot forward and plant your right heel. And then raise up, warrior one. Feel your body from the floor up. So feel your feet. Notice what your thighs are doing. Engage your root lock. Pull in your Uddiyana Bandha. Keep your heart lifted. What's your face doing? I'm sure it's smiling. And then maybe bring your hands towards one another and look upward, letting your heart continue to lift up. Take another full inhale and exhale. Follow your breath all the way down. Whichever vinyasa makes sense for your body. Landing in downward facing dog, feeling more thankful that we're going to stay here for a couple of breaths. Try to lift your legs enough so that your ankles aren't wrinkled. Pushing the mat away, feel your shoulders come down towards your hips. Take another full inhale. Empty your breath all the way and walk or float your feet in between your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release and bow down. Bend your knees, drop your booty. Ooh, I love Utkatasana. And then exhale, Samastitihi. Inhale, Utkatasana. With your exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Lift up your heart, and with your next exhale, twist to your right and bring your left elbow to the outside of your left knee. Pushing down on your left hand with your right hand. Notice how you can like the pose more. What do you have to do? I notice I have to step my feet together. I don't like doing it with my feet apart. But notice what works for you. Then inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, other side. So bring your right elbow to the outside of your left. You push down on your bottom hand so it can lift your chest up. You bring your chin towards your chest and then look up to the sky. What adjustments do you have to make it feel good for you? Now, feel good for it to work for you. It's still plenty of work. It's not like eating an ice cream. So let your butt drop down and your heart lift up, embracing the effort, but it doesn't have to be painful. And then inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, halfway lift. Walk or float. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Feel your hips pull up and back. And then step your right foot forward to your right thumb. Plant your left heel, rise up. Warrior one. Exhale, open up. Warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. And exhale, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step your left foot forward, plant your right heel, rise up, warrior one. Open up, warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Maybe you want to bounce your dog a little bit. Maybe you don't. Now with your inhale, you're going to stretch your right leg up to the sky. And with your exhale, you're going to take your right foot and bring it about 1 foot length in front of your left leg. You're putting your foot on the ground. And then you're going to lift up your left leg. Standing splits. And then bring your left foot where your right foot is or next to it and lift up your right leg. Now, when I said standing splits, that wasn't quite true. It's like a narrow through like a dog. So my hands are still further forward. Now, put your right foot next to your left foot again. Lift your left leg. This time, shift your weight forward to your hands and just jump 3 times. And then switch your legs. Left foot. And then just push down with your hands. Get just a little bit of air. Or maybe you're going all the way. That's cool. And then bring your left foot down. And then walk all the way in between your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release and bow down. Push down with your feet. Roll up. Ooh, to Utkatasana. I nearly forgot. And then stand up. Oh, that should feel good. Let your hands drop down. And you're going to raise your right knee up, parallel with the ground. And then you're going to hook on to your big toe with your peace fingers and either stretch your leg as much as you can or all the way, or hold on to your knee. But you want to be upright and your standing leg is working strong, reaching your heel forward. Nice, lovely, what everyone's doing. Take another full inhale. And with your exhale, you're going to take your left hand, either take it to the outside of your right foot or the outside of your knee. Inhale, put your right hand on your heart, lift your chest up, and with your exhale, twist, looking at your right thumb or towards it. Don't forget to breathe. That keeps us safe, actually. And then come back to center. Stretch your right leg out, lift it up. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then come into airplane. Stretch through your fingertips, stretch through your toe tips. Try to drop your right hip down. And then stand upright, samastitihi. Take a full breath. And then raise your left knee up. Now either stay here, or if you want a bit more of a challenge, grab onto your foot. Pulling your belly in, standing tall as you can. Maybe your left knee is a little bit bent. One side isn't always like the other side. And then inhale, come to center and switch your hands. So you grab to the outside of your left foot with your right hand, or you hold on to the outside of your knee. And then reach back. Look at your left thumb. Feel your abdominals pulling in, helping you stand upright just like your spine does. One we have to bring a little bit more consciousness to. And then come back to center. Stretch your leg out if it isn't, for 4, 3, 2, 1, and then fly into airplane. So naturally, my left hip wants to lift off, but instead I'm active with my whole left leg, rolling the pinky side of my foot down. Bring your hands to heart center, bow forward, and let your left foot come to the ground. Separate your feet again. Inhale, halfway lift. With your exhale, bow down. Let your head hang. Forward fold. Feel your sit bones reaching up for the sky. If you're tight in your hamstrings, make sure you bend your knees a little bit. And then toe heel your feet together. Bend your knees, drop your booty. Inhale, Utkatasana. Yeah. See, so much easier when you sing it. Now, You're going to stay this low. Inhale, you're going to lift up your right thigh and you're going to braid it around your left. And with your exhale, you're going to bring your right arm underneath your left arm. Beautiful. Now, maybe try to sink your hips down. And with your exhale, bring your elbows down to your knees. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, elbow down to your knees. Inhale, lift up. One more time, elbows reach down, and this time stretch your leg out, step it back, and you're in bound crescent lunge. Yeah, let your heart lift. It should feel good. And with your exhale, you're gonna bow down. Let your head drop, try not to fall. Inhale, lift up, and with your next exhale, open up, warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. And exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now inhale, stretch your right leg up to the sky. And this time, bring your right foot like 2 feet in front of your left foot. And then stretch your left leg up to the sky. Weight comes to your hands a little bit if you can. Straighten both legs. And then switch your feet. Right leg stretch up. Left leg straighten, get strong. Pushing the ground away, trying to bring my hips over my knee and my ankle. And then switch. You're going to lift up your left leg. And this time, lift up onto your toes of your right foot. And just a couple of times. Maybe going a little bit higher than you did. By a couple, I meant 3. And then switch your legs. Point your right toes. Lift up onto your left heel. And then, left toes, lift your left heel. And then 3 times. And then walk your feet in between your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release, bend down. Then bend your knees, drop your booty. Inhale, Utkatasana. Yeah. And this time, staying low with your hips-ish. So you don't want to be straight. You're probably not all the way down. You're kind of in between. Braid your left thigh over the right thigh. And with your next exhale, left arm underneath your right arm. Heart lifting, elbows dropping down. Take another full inhale. And with your exhale, tap your elbows to your knees. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, tap your elbows to your knees. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, tap down. And this time, you're going to stretch out, maybe touching bound airplane, and then step back. Bound Anjaneyasana. And then with your exhale, you're going to come down, bowing your head to the inside of your right foot. It's a bound humble warrior, essentially. And then inhale, lift up. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. And exhale, vinyasa. Meeting up in downward facing dog. Bend your knees a little bit. Maybe jiggle, maybe bounce. Kind of satisfying for your nervous system. And then you get to explore how you want to do this next part. So maybe you want to do a couple handstands, just easy peasy, right, Sabine? Or you want to do some handstand preparation without the wall. So you're just doing that progression we did earlier. Or you can actually turn if you have a wall that doesn't have a stove in it or pictures on it, you can do some handstands against the wall. So wherever you're at, so either you're just here, walking your hands forward where it feels comfortable, either going with one leg at a time or jumping up with both legs. Or you can use the wall and have your hands one hand length away from the wall. You can do the same thing, kind of. And just even having the wall there, you might find, oh, you're in handstand. Be a little playful for a moment, wherever it works for you. We want to have this place in our practice where it's like personalized, also maybe not so serious. So taking about another minute. Yeah, beautiful. Very nice. And now let's meet up in a forward fold on your mat. So you can take your legs hip distance apart and you just come with your hands on the ground, bend your knees, let your head drop. You can bend and straighten one knee at a time a little bit here. You can even take your hands to the back of your head, let your head be extra heavy. And then you're gonna sit your hips down. I know, it looks like I'm gonna go to the bathroom, but no, I'm gonna roll down on my butt. Woohoo! Very nice. Now, take your hands behind your thighs, pull your belly into your spine, and just slowly roll your spine all the way down. And then relax your shoulders and scoot your heels in a little closer. You want your feet hip distance apart. And then you pull your heels out a little bit so you're pigeon-toed. Now, plant your feet on the ground, feel your shoulders connected to the earth. And with your inhale, tuck your tail and start to peel your spine up off the ground. And with your exhale, roll back down. Take a full breath. And then with your next inhale, start to peel your spine up from your lower back all the way as high as you can in between your shoulder blades so your chest is coming to your face. And now let's take a full breath while we're up. And then gently roll back down. And then inhale, roll your hips up. Now yogi's choice, you can stay here, or if you want, you can come into full wheel. Just keep your hands next to your ears, fingers pointing towards your hips, and come all the way up. Maybe walking your hands and feet a little closer together. Wherever your work is, maybe just relaxing your forehead. See if you can stay there another 4 breaths. Feeling the power of your legs showing up as freedom in your back. And after your 4th breath, with your 5th breath, come all the way down. With your knees still bent, you're going to take your feet out to the edges of your yoga mat and just let your knees fall back together. You want to feel that your lower back is soft here. And then we're going to braid our right knee over the left knee and lift up our knees so they're right over our hips. And then we're going to get active in our feet by flexing our feet. And you can barely see it, but you're going to try and bring your feet towards your face. And when you've noticed that you can't bring your feet all the way to your ears, you're going to take your hands and you're going to slide your hands down your shins, pulling your shins towards you. Feeling the stretch in your gluteus maximus. The top of your hamstring is stretching here too. We did a bunch of hamstringy stuff. And then bring your feet to the ground with your knees still crossed. Bring your hips slightly to the right, like just one cheek over to the right. And then drop your knees to the left, looking away to your right. Take a full inhale. Sometimes in that twist, with my breath, I can crack my back. Just notice what's up for you today, right here, right now. It's the only day we get to be like this. The only day that the sunrise, the sunrise was like it was this morning. Tonight's sunset is going to be one of a kind, as it always is. And then bring your knees back to center. Unwind your knees and bring your right knee over your left knee this time. Lift up your knees so they're right above your hips. You don't want to bring them too close to your chest, right above your hips. And then stretch your legs out. So this action, like I can nearly start shaking here. I'm trying so hard to bring my feet towards my face, but it's not going to move that much, but you feel the action in your body. And then slide your hands down your shins. If it's appropriate for you, maybe you can hold on to your flexing feet, pulling your shins towards you. Taking some nice slow breaths after maybe your heart rate climbed a little bit with our practice. And then release your feet, put your feet on the ground, and you're gonna push down with your right foot and just shift your hips to the left and let your knees drop to the right, making sure that your knees are still in line with your hips. Take a full inhale. With your exhale, just sigh it out. Your gaze is either up at the ceiling or out to your left. And then bring yourself back to center and you're going to stretch up into happy baby. So you're grabbing onto the outsides edges of your feet. And you're going to have your knees right above your armpits and you start to pull down. Eventually, maybe you can do this with the straight legs, especially if the wall's not in your way. But really see where your edge is. Letting your hands be heavy on your feet, pulls your knees down and leaves your whole spine on the ground. You can even bring your chin a little bit towards your chest, lengthening the back of your neck here. You can also try stretching out one leg at a time. It's kind of fun. And you're aiming to have your toes lined up with your ears. So that's like about my ear height, I think. Wah, wah. And then one more time, hug your knees to your chest. And we're going to finish off class with 9 rolls. It sounds like sushi. I wish it was, but no, 9 rolls around your yoga mat. So you end up right in the same place that you started. Start to rock back and forth. And you rotate around. And eventually, after the 9th roll, you should be right back where you started and can feel this massages and stimulates your whole spine. Plus, you're not going to take yourself too seriously now. And then stretch out into Shavasana, covering yourself if you want, but letting your body come to rest.
letting gravity have you. It always has you. Who are we kidding? But let your body be soft. Feel maybe tingling and vibrations in your body. You've worked on getting stronger. You've worked on becoming lighter at the same time and really coming into relationship with your sense of self, your connection to the earth, and your connection to the divine. All right, with your next inhale, invite your breath back to the edges of your body. Maybe wiggle your fingers or your toes, or smile and or smile. It's not an either or thing. Stretch your arms up over your head, wiggle your body long. Maybe even feel that like you're reaching your body long, and you reach a little bit more higher than your fingers stretch, a little bit further than your toes stretch. And then hug your knees in. If it's comfortable for you, roll onto your side. Just feel the vibrancy and the vitality, this gift of life. And then roll up into a seated position. And we're going to close our class with one Om. And now we know how it works with the Zoom stuff. Like, we start, we can hear my voice, you can hear your voice, and then I fade out and you have to hold the line. So it really also gives you a chance to make your Oms really fit your breath and your practice, even though we're just going to finish with one. So bring your hands to heart center, maybe lift up the image of the person you dedicated your class to. Let's empty our breath all together. Take a deep inhale. Bring your prayer hands to your third eye. Invite the divine light. And as we bow forward together, we say, Namaste. And so much love. Make some noise. Get here now. Thank you. So, yeah, if you're sore, do it again. And thank you so much for your time and your practice.